So, yesterday Unity dropped a huge bomb by announcing a plan to charge developers a runtime fee per new install, which ranges from less than a cent to 20 cents depending on various factors. There's had a lot of gaming websites writing scathing articles on the company's new pricing policy, and lots of indie game developers thinking about switching game engines. After this news dropped, I've had a couple of people ask me, should I continue to learn and use Unity? And my answer is yes, because these fees are not going to apply to 90% of people who are using Unity. They only apply to you if you earn more than 200,000 in revenue in the last 12 months and 200,000 lifetime installs, which means that if you become eligible for these fees, you would have achieved a reasonable amount of success as a game developer. Look, let me help you put things in perspective. This channel has been active for almost 2 years and we haven't had a single video exceeding 200,000 views. Now, videos are free to watch. So can you imagine what it would take to get 200,000 people to pay for a copy of your game? What I'm trying to say is that if you're a new game developer, there are much bigger things for you to worry about. Namely, how do you get people to pay attention to you, and how do you convince people to pay for your game? That is, in my opinion, a much harder problem for you to solve than the 20 cents per install runtime fee. And you can take my word for it because I've been putting a lot of time into this channel and it's still relatively unknown. Does this mean that the outrage that developers are having for the game is unjustified? Well, nobody handles it well when they're being told they have to pay more for something that they used to have. So in that sense, I'll be outraged if I was one of these developers, but I don't think that would be something that will put me out of business or make it unrealistic for me to continue using Unity. So if we assume that Unity is able to reliably tally the install counts so it doesn't count multiple installs from the same user, I can just increase the price of all my eligible games by about 30% to offset the cost of these runtime fees. For developers that have free-to-play games or who are getting their money from a revenue sharing model like Xbox Game Pass or Humble Bundle, that situation gets a little bit trickier because their number of installs do not exactly correspond to the amount of revenue they will get. But this is again not a universally insurmountable problem. Free-to-play games can look at adjusting their revenue for their paid components, and developers earning from revenue sharing can look at renegotiating their contracts with their respective vendors. I'll admit though that really depends on how the business model works, and some of them may really get badly screwed by this to the point where their game becomes loss-making. For developers who fall into this badly screwed by this category, they can also look at talking to their Unity sales reps to see if they're able to renegotiate these runtime fees on a case-by-case basis. I'm pretty sure that Unity's business plan is not to drive all of these developers away, and it's going to try its hardest to keep as many of these developers on board as possible. It costs a lot of money for the company to consistently develop new features for the engine and maintain all of its cloud-based services, and the company has never been profitable, save for Q1 of 2023, so it's only a matter of time before shareholders demand that the company starts making them money. And that's it for my take on this. If you have any fervent agreements or disagreements, please feel free to post your thoughts in the comments below, and as usual, thank you to our Patreons.